Hey guys, before we start the video, I wanted to jump in and say really quickly that, full disclaimer, this video is about spiritual readings and spiritual things. If you are an uber Christian or an uber Muslim or whatever your religion is and you're just uber about it and you're set in your religion and your ways, that is totally fine, but this video is probably not for you. So I'm giving you an opportunity to go ahead and exit now. Because if you do not exit and you wish to complete this video and you decide to make some sort of nasty comment, you're giving me full permission to come for you. So, full disclaimer, I'm gonna go ahead and give you like 5 seconds to get on up out of here and just go to another video. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. You probably came from one of my few viral videos. I have quite a few now. So thank you for joining me in another video. And for the guys who've been around for a while, thank you for sticking around. Y'all know how it is with me. Sometimes you'll see me, sometimes you won't, but I'm here. I go wherever the depression flows, okay? So today, for this spooky video, I decided to tell you guys about the spiritual reading that I had. So I figured this would be a good time, since I'm kind of like chit-chatting, I'll go ahead and do my makeup and stuff for the day. Don't worry, I'm halfway clothed up under here. I'm not completely naked. But I figured, yeah, I would do like my makeup and stuff and talk to you guys about the spiritual reading that I had. So if you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that like button so you never miss an upload from me. And also follow all of my social medias. I have tons of social medias and I do stuff. I'm starting to become an avid TikToker, but you know. So today I have all my makeup here, ready to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is, first of all, put on some freaking chapstick because my lips are chapped as hell. And then the next thing I do, I'm gonna spray my primer. I've already done all of my face prep. I've done the washing, the serums, and all that stuff that I need to put on. I've done it. If you look at some of my older videos compared to now, like my skin routine is completely different and it's so many steps now, but the older you get, the more steps it takes apparently. So, Too Faced Hangover Primer, which I thought it was like the liquid kind, but it's actually as a spray and it works just as good. So, it was an accidental buy that turned out really good. So let's start about how I ended up getting a spiritual reading. Basically, with all the stuff going on last year, if you don't know, you just don't know. You can go back and look at some of my older videos to know what I'm talking about. You know, I was in a really dark place. I'm just like, oh my God, I just need some sort of sign. I need someone to talk to me. I need somebody to just give me something. Give me something, please. Give me something. I do not have a spoolie right now, so I'm using my edge brush, the combs on the edge brush, to do my eyebrows because I cannot find any of my spoolies. I'm being a little ghetto. Eyebrows is usually what I do first. I need something. I need a miracle, something, because I'm like at my wit's end with this situation. So the thought just crossed my mind, like, why don't you just get a spiritual reading? And for those of you who don't know what a spiritual reading is, it's where you go to somebody who, some spiritual readings don't use tarot cards. Some people use tarot cards. It just, for this particular one, my sister was telling me about this girl that she went to high school with, which I'll link her information down below. She was amazing. I went to her like about 2 times. She was amazing. Absolutely loved her. Like, she was bomb. Like, she was on fucking point, guys. So if you're interested in like getting a reading after you hear this story, I'll make sure that I'll link her information down below in the description box. But yeah, she was amazing. So my sister, I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about doing a spiritual reading. And you know, I grew up in a very Christian household. My dad is a pastor. For those of you who don't know, I really don't talk about it much, but super uber Christian on my dad's side. My mom's side, they're super Christian too, but I think we're a little more open-minded on my mom's side than my dad's side. So my sister, I was like, hey, have any of you guys done this before? And my mom was like, well, I've done it before years ago. Like, I talked to it. It was an actual pastor who did hers. And she was like, yeah, I've done it years before. And my sister was like, I know this girl that I went to school with, like, she is amazing. Like, she's on point or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm at my wit's end. So I'm like calling. So next I'm going to, yeah, eyebrows. It seems that I've forgotten a few things, like stuff to do my eyebrows, what the fuck, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and book it. And I just remember feeling like so defeated. If this is your first time to my channel, you haven't seen any other videos, me and my sister talked about how we can see spirits and hear them sometimes. I don't wanna say hear them because I've never heard anybody talk to me because I would jump out of my skin. But you know, we hear them as in like footsteps, tapping, things of that nature. So I remember the night before the reading, I heard footsteps at my door. I was sitting on my bed. My door was wide fucking open. And I remember hearing footsteps as if someone was standing in my doorway. And I remember turning to the doorway and screaming like a fucking psychopath. Literally screaming. I was like, if you are not an ancestor or a spirit guide here to fucking help me, leave me the fuck alone. And then I got up and I slammed my door. So you're probably like, well, what does that have to do with the story? You'll find out in just a second. So I was really upset. I was at a place where I'm like, I'm really giving up. I just, you know, somebody give me some answers because Jesus Christ, I can't, you know, usually with depression, I can usually jump in and out of it. I don't never have too many dark thoughts, but like it was kind of getting to like to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm not coming out of this depression the way I'm used to. Like, oh my God, like something's wrong with me. I'm hoping that my makeup doesn't turn out absolutely crazy because the lighting looks good on this camera, but like while I'm doing it, oh my fucking God. So yeah, so the next day I'm on the phone with my best friend, DeAndre. So I'm talking to him and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting a spiritual reading. Of course, he's like, he don't believe in that shit. He's like, man, you good, you all right. I'm kind of telling him like, you know, the motions that I'm going through or whatever. He was like, yeah, you know, just allow yourself to be sad about it. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, this has been going on for months. Like, I've never had a depression last this long before. I really need to figure something out because I have kids to take care of and I don't want my kids to see me like this, you know? And so he's just talking and then I'm like, oh, I'll call you back because the girl's gonna call. Well, she didn't. She wrote me saying that she was gonna be about 30 minutes late. Like, she pushed it back like an hour. And, you know, I wasn't even upset about it. I'm just like, whatever reason it was pushed back, whoever is trying to contact me, maybe they're not ready with their information. I don't know. I don't know how readings work at this point. I'm like, whatever. Just as long as you call me, girl, I don't even care. I don't waited this long. I can wait longer, right? She calls me and she's like, hey, how are you? You know, do you have any questions specifically that you want to ask? And I was like, you know what? I would rather you just start talking. And because I paid, originally I paid for 20 minutes, a 20-minute reading. And I was like, you just start shuffling or whatever it is that you do. You start doing it. If it starts to resonate, I'll pay for more time to talk. But I really don't want to ask any questions because right now I'm just lost. So, all right, brows are done. So I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Y'all know that's the holy grail for me, especially because I have acne prone skin. Primer is kind of set in right now. Actually, when I do my primer, I also like to do setting spray because I like to do setting spray just to stop that oil from seeping through and have an all day wear, which I forgot to do. I don't know how I forgot to do that. Anyways, so she started shuffling her cards and I'm just sitting there and she was like, you having a situation going on in your life with someone. And I was like, maybe, you know, not giving her too much information. I just, you know, I'm like, maybe, you know, talk to me more. And she's like, this person is like absolutely in love with you, but this person has done you really, really, like really dirty or whatever, right? And so I'm like, okay, go on, continue. You might be on to something, maybe, I don't know. And so she's like, this person has like dogged you out, like, oh my God, like they've done a whole lot. And she was saying, she was like, but this person loves you to death. She's like, this person is obsessed with you. They love you. They don't want anything but the best for you. She's like, but this person is not going to be with you. This person, which in that moment, y'all already probably know who they're talking about. They're talking about my kid's father, who is, we're actually at a place where we're kind of like best friends now. So, you know, this is like almost a year ago at this point. And she's like, this person is like, they love you to death and they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that you are successful on your journey, but they're not going to be with you because they feel like they've done way too much. They've done this. And she was like going like all deep, like, oh my God, this person just, they feel so bad about it. You know, they just let their their lust get the best of them. It's like she's going on and on and on. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm thinking to myself, she could have got that from my YouTube or anything. You know, I'm kind of impressed, but not really impressed. But then she starts getting into like details that other people didn't know, which I'm not going to discuss what those are. But she started going into details that I didn't even tell anybody. It's some stuff that I just really kept to myself. And she started going into details, and I'm like, wow. And she was like, this person wants you to know that they're sorry. And so I'm like, wow. She's like, do you have any questions about it? I was like, you know, I asked her, I was like, you know, why couldn't he just do right? You know, why couldn't he just get the help that he needed and just do right? Like, go to therapy or whatever. Like, why wouldn't he just do it? And she was like, this person wants you to know that it doesn't have anything to do with you at all. It's them. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do about your light, the way you shine. It has nothing to do with how you took care of them. They're like, you were amazing to this person, you know, but this person has internal issues and it has nothing to do with you, and they want you to know that. And she was like, is this person dead? And I'm like, no, this person is not dead at all. So I'm like, how the fuck she getting this information? She was like, I have a person here who's not living who is giving me this information. And I'm just like, well, he's very much so alive. Like, the kids are at his house right now. I'm like, did he die? And I didn't know. Like, is he dead now? And I'm waiting on a phone call. Like, I started getting scared. She was like, let me see. She's like, there's somebody here. It's a presence here. It's a male presence. She's like, did anybody die in your family recently? And of course, you know, I'm like, no, nobody's recently died or whatever. You know, nobody's died or whatever. And she's like, there's a presence here. It's like a uncle or grandfather. And I was like, my grandfather died. Let's see, when I got the reading done, it was almost a year that he had passed away. I was like, oh, my grandfather died almost a year ago, you know, which I did not tell you guys on my giving birth story. Days before, not even a few days, like maybe a week before I gave birth to my son, my grandfather passed away. And then I had my son like a week after that. Okay. So I was always joking around like, oh my God, I don't want him to die before my son because he's probably going to be my son, blah, 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 like joking around or whatever. So I was like, oh, it's probably my grandfather. She was like, yes, it's him. And so she started giving me details about my grandfather, like, oh, he does this and he does that. I'm not going to tell y'all those things. People who are in my family, y'all know exactly what she brought up. He was a hustler. And I was like, oh my God. She was like, yeah, he is sitting here basically telling you that he's okay, like not to worry about him, saying that he wishes that he had a closer relationship with me and that he just loves me so much and that he used to pray for me all the time. And I'm trying not to get emotional because that was a lot for me. It's even a lot now when I talk about it. But she was saying how he used to pray to the ancestors, which is one thing that I was kind of interested in, but because we had such a uber Christian background, you know, I just, you know, don't really, I'm just now at an age where I'm ready to investigate and explore other religious avenues. I don't want to say religious. I'm just open. I'm just open to whatever works for people. And it doesn't mean not necessarily that I just follow everything by the book or to the T, but I'm open for people telling me their stories with their religious experiences and it'd be okay, right? So he was saying that he used to pray to the ancestors for me, and I'm just like, wow, like you would have never really known that about him. I mean, he was a very, you know, he used to go to church and pay tithes and stuff, but you know, he was so gangster, you wouldn't think that that was the type of stuff that he was doing, right? Y'all, I'm just trying to make sure this is blended out really, really good, right? So she was saying, he's okay. She was like, there was a situation at the hospital. Okay. Yes, there was a situation. She was saying some more stuff that I didn't tell y'all guys in the birthing story. She was saying some more stuff like, yeah, you were just crying your eyes out. Like you were just crying and crying. And she was like, what happened? I was like, well, the nurses, you know, took my son because they thought that I had COVID. And so they like snatched him out of the room or whatever. And she was like, he was there and he knew that you were scared and he was basically watching over your son the entire time that he wasn't with you because he knew how scared you were of the nurses or somebody doing something to him. And I just lost it. I was just like crying, like, girl, shut up. And she was like, yes. And she was like, he also wants you to know that when people do little things to you or talk about you negatively or do whatever, like, when bad shit happens to them, he's the one who is making sure that he's the one that's making sure that stuff happens. And I'm just like, girl, shut up. Because a lot of times when people like do little stuff to me, because I really don't bother people. you know, some people, I don't know, sometimes people just hate your light and they just do little stuff to like bring your light down or I don't know, whatever. But the fact that people were doing stuff and little things were happening to people, and to know that that was kind of him being the driving force, like, bitch, you ain't gonna be fucking with my granddaughter. Like, that tickled me so bad because that is him to a T. But again, of course, I'm like crying and stuff, but I'm still kind of skeptical or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, like, you could have got that from my YouTube. Even though I didn't tell her that my grandfather died, but she could have got that from my YouTube or anything, right? So she was like, your ancestors, like, absolutely, they think that you're hilarious, and that they're like, she's like, you have a really bad potty mouth. Now, only people who know me would know that. And I'm just like, yeah, I got a mouth. She's like, they're laughing. They're saying that you got a mouth on you. She was like, there was something that happened last night. She was like, somebody was trying to come and see you last night. Remember when I said at the beginning of the story that I was screaming and I slammed my door? I was like, yes, last night before the reading, I heard footsteps. I heard somebody like walk up to my door and just kind of stand there. And I told her what I said, and she was like, they're laughing. They're like, oh my God, they thought that that was the most hilarious thing on earth. She's like, it was your grandfather trying to come, your grandfather trying to come comfort you, but you cussed him out and slammed the door in his face. And I was like, mind you, I hadn't told anybody that happened. I didn't tell anybody that. Like, it happened the night before, so I didn't even have a chance to talk to anybody about that situation for her to even know that. So the fact that she knew that, like, blew my mind. I was a believer at that point, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, what the hell? And she was like, yeah, they think that you're hilarious. And she was saying that they absolutely love my kids, and that they specifically love my son a whole lot because apparently he was once an ancestor. So he's been here before, apparently. So I'm just like, girl, shut up. And I always thought that because he was just way too advanced to be a freaking newborn. Like, he was just doing the absolute freaking most. And I'm just like, okay, like, he's always moving super fast and getting upset with his own limitations. And I'm like, you're a baby. You're not supposed to be able to, you know, do certain things. And he would be very upset with himself. And I just thought that I was like tripping out or whatever. So I'm just like, oh my God, like, I'm having this breakthrough moment. She was like, they want you to know that it's going to be all right. Go ahead and continue doing your photography. Don't worry about your job. You'll find a new one. Like, I was having a lot going on. They were like, don't worry about it. Your new husband is coming. And I'm like, my new husband? She's like, are you dating somebody? I'm like, I'm not dating any fucking body. Like, I'm not even divorced, right? I'm like, girl, I ain't dating nobody. I don't know what the hell you talking about. And I don't know what they're talking about because I'm not looking. I'm terrified even now of, like, taking somebody seriously. Like, girl. And she was like, well, she was telling me that I'm going to have my own studio and it's coming soon. And, you know, your life is going to change within the next couple months. Like, just keep your head up. Like, you got this. And I'm just like, okay. And then she's like, tell me about your kids. And I was like, you know, my son, I just had him. I have 2 daughters. And she was like, your one daughter is funny as hell. Like, she is a lot like you. Very funny child. And I knew that immediately she's talking about Cali. Because Cali is the goofy. Like, she is like me, very unintentionally funny. She just says whatever. And it just comes off funny as fuck. And she can be dead ass serious. And I just laugh. And they were like, yeah, she's super funny. And they were like, they love Paris too. And they were like, with Paris, and which I didn't even tell too many people about this either. She's like, with Paris, she's like, you're being too hard on her. We had a situation with Paris, which I'm not putting her business out, but we had a school situation. But it was hard. The pandemic happened. We were all having a hard time. And I think she was struggling a whole lot more than what she was willing to admit. And instead of just saying, hey, I'm struggling, she would just, you know, lie about it. And so I had been really, like, you know, punishment. Like, it was a lot of stuff that transpired from that because, like, you know, the teacher, you know, told me some stuff and I was just, like, went off. And so I had been feeling bad about it ever since it happened. And she was like, you're too hard on her and, you know, you want her to be successful. And I was like, yeah, I just want her, you know, because I'm a teen mom. Paris is a teen now. And I'm just like, don't be like me. Like, be better than me. Like, don't be like me. And the girl was like, you know, she can never be better than you. She can only be the best version of herself. And I was just like, oh my God, I kind of lost it then. And it's just like, it clicked for me. It's like, she's never going to be better than me. She's only going to be, nobody can be better than me but me because I'm the only me. She was like, she can only be the best version of herself. She was like, she's going to be fine. Like, you worry so much about her. You're very overprotective of her. You don't let anybody, you know, do anything to her. You're just so afraid that people are going to do things to her. You've had a lot of things happen in your life, and you just kind of have to realize that regardless of how protective you are, she's got her own life to live. She's going to make her own decisions. And she's got to have her own experiences too, and she cannot do that under the guise of you protecting her from every little thing. Which is true. Like, I'm very overprotective of Paris. For those of you who don't know, Paris is my oldest. I had her when I was 17 years old. I've been a single mom since she was born. My ex-husband came in when she was about 3, and he's like been the father figure in her life since she was 3. So it's not like I didn't have any help, but because it was just me and her, and it's technically, you know, at the end of the day, I'm all she's got. You know, she has my ex-husband for the rest of her life. Like, that is her fucking dad, period. Like, she calls him dad and everything. Like, that's her dad. That's her person. That's the person who stepped in, right? But I still have this thing where I'm like, no, this is my baby. You're not going to do what I want, because I just feel like she's been through enough, right? And so Chick was like, girl, chill out. She'll be fine. Like, she's smart. Like, she's smarter than you're giving her credit for. Like, she is going to be fine, right? She's going to be fine. I'm just like, reading went so well. She's like, dang, I wish I would have recorded this. Now, I'm going to tell y'all one thing about her. Like, if you don't like a whole bunch of cussing, if you don't like hood retchery and stuff like that, because she is very much herself. She like to twerk and all kinds of stuff and cussing. She posts crazy stuff on her Facebook all the time. Like, if that's not the type of person that you would like a reading from, then just don't. But if you are down with somebody being themselves and authentically being a person of color and just living in their truth and cussing and all that, she was a perfect match for me, because that's how I am, right? I wouldn't recommend if you're looking for somebody who's gonna be like, oh my God, you know, corporate professional when they're doing your reading. She's not gonna be that. She's gonna be straight up real with you. So she's like, damn, I wish I would have recorded this shit. Fuck. I'm just like laughing or whatever. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. That reading saved my life initially. And I hate to say it as blunt as that, but that reading literally saved my life. Because at that point I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know where I'm going. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to essentially lay here and die. Like, just go on and take me, Lord, because this is just too fucking much, right? And having that reading with her literally changed my fucking life. It changed my perspective on life. It changed everything, because it's like I had a spiritual connection with my grandfather. Mind you, my great grandmother was trying to come through to me as well, but my grandfather was in the way. And I found this out because my mom had a reading like the next day. And the lady told her, like, your grandmother was trying to reach your daughter, but your grandfather was like so excited that somebody had connected with him that she didn't have a chance to like come through and speak with me. So that sounds like him too. He was probably like, I could see him being like, one thing about my grandfather, anytime that he would see me, he would be so happy. He would just have this big grin on his face, because, you know, it's not that we didn't have a close relationship, because we kind of didn't, but we kind of did. It's just that my mom and dad I don't remember them ever being together. My grandfather's on my dad's side of the family, and I live with my mother. So the relationship, anybody who is in a family dynamic where your mom and dad were never together, or they got a divorce or whatever, and you end up living with your mom, you already know that your dad's side of the family, like, they love you. You have some sort of relationships and bonds with them, but it's not as close as like your mom's side, because you see your mom's side every day. You don't really see your dad's side. He used to be very excited to see me every single time I would see him. He would always give me money. He was always like, you need anything? Like, he was just very much so like that person. And I'm trying not to get emotional again, because I love that man. And not saying that he was perfect, because he's done a lot of things in life. Not saying that he's perfect. I totally forgot to. He was perfect to me. He was very good to me. Y'all can probably hear Chase crying upstairs. He was very good to me. He was very much so that guy for me. I just felt so good, and I just was like, oh my God, I've had this connection. Like, it's real. Like, right? It's real. Like, oh my God, like, it's real, right? And the girl was trying to give me advice. She was like, just continue praying, continue working on your depression, continue working on being the best version of you. You need to focus on yourself, focus on your hobbies, focus on your goals. Like, it's all gonna happen for you. You just have to pull yourself together, bitch. Pull yourself together, bitch. Now, do it now, or life is gonna pass you by. So after that reading, like, I was determined. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good to go. I'm gonna pull myself out. I came up with a routine, started taking care of myself a little better. Like, I had so much hope, because it's like, wow, I've had this amazing spiritual experience, and it's just like, wow, like, I can't even explain to y'all how much that changed my life, but it honestly did, right? And I'm probably missing steps because anytime that I talk or try to do makeup, oh my God. But if I'm missing steps, like, don't be goddamn grilling me in the damn comments, please. For those of you who know, when I had lost my job while I was pregnant with my son, I make more money now than I did at that job. And that was like the highest paying job that I've ever had. So this new job is kind of like that job, but I get paid even more, right? So it's just like things just working out, like working out. I got my finances together, being able to take care of my kids and pay my bills fully, because that one job was literally not paying a whole lot, but I had to do what I had to do to take care of my kids, right? And so it was just one of those things where, like, all the stuff that she said, like, keep working, keep working, keep working. Like the reason why a lot of you are here now is because I got a few viral videos, but my most recent viral video was the freaking Lake Lanier video that I filmed last year. Like, y'all are eating that up right now. Like, got like 8,000 views on that so far. And like that started going off, and like things just started falling into place. My photography business picked up. It was so many people who reached out to me to do pictures, and it was like everything was just flowing. Everything was fucking flowing. Everything is, even right now, everything is just working out to a T. Like, she was the truth. She was not lying. And I don't think I've ever been so happy in my life. And am I a fan of spiritual readings? Yes, I'm a big fan. I get it, a big fan. I'm a big fan of personal readings. Has that deterred what I feel religiously? No, not really. I just feel like I'm a free spirit, and whatever makes me feel good makes me feel good. I do believe that there is a God. Don't take it like that now, but I feel like I'm spiritually open to explore other avenues that might enhance that relationship and enhance, you know, that spirituality, and making sure that I stay in tune with myself. And you know, a lot of people in my family are not going to agree with this. They're not going to agree that I had a spiritual reading, but at the end of the day, this is my life, not yours. And I don't have to answer to anybody. Like, when I answer to whoever's at the end of that tunnel once I'm gone, I'm going to be there by myself. So you can either get on a train and get your reading too and probably get your life together too, or you can be a stubborn who don't advance spiritually. Not saying you gotta get a reading, but you know, sometimes with religion we be so stuck on this is how it goes that we just miss the entire point. And the entire point is to have the closest connection that you can, and that these readings have given me the best connection that I've ever had with God, that I've ever had in my life. And nobody's gonna take that from me. So if you don't like this video, I really don't care, because at this point I'm 30 something years old and you don't tell me what to do. Okay. And if you don't believe it, that's fine too, because I know it's a lot of people who just like, oh, we just die, we don't respawn or whatever. I just, you know, you can believe what you want to believe, but that was a breakthrough for me that I needed. It changed my entire life. It changed the trajectory of my life, and it's why I'm here now. Nobody can take that from me. That reading, that first reading, is why I'm still here. It is what it is. Like, y'all can take it how y'all want. I had a good time, shit. Anywho, so basically, I am just about done doing my makeup. I'm gonna take a look in a real mirror real quick just to make sure that I'm on track, because like I said, the lighting in here is weird, so I can't tell what the fuck is going on. So I'm gonna come back when my lashes are on. All right, guys, this is the finished look. It's the makeup that I do every single day. I don't really have too many tricks. I'm a one-trick pony, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed my spiritual reading story, and I'm really happy that I decided to do it, and I'm really happy about the outcome, and I'm just really happy with life, and I'm excited for this journey that I'm going on. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys all in the next spooky video.